welcome to the Pitch of Discontent. Owen back again for another guest episode. Very excited to be joined by Lachlan and Cat from Identity Era. Hello.
Hey.
Hello.
What's going on?
Not much. Just finished work, came here.
Yeah. We were talking, Lachlan, you and I were talking before about what you do for work. You repair photocopiers.
Yeah.
It's incredibly niche, incredibly
niche.
specific.
Yeah.
How did you fall into that line of work?
It's like a lot of young people, I suppose, got out of high school and didn't want to do anything.
Okay.
Didn't want to go to uni, didn't know what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Luckily for me, my mum already worked at the company. She said, hey, there's a job opening here.
Like an apprenticip or something?
Yeah,
you can
like
just
a little
slide on in.
traineeship.
Nice.
So she's like, either.
Nepotism at its
Yeah,
finest.
nepotism. Yeah, so I did that and then I've just been doing that ever since.
That's sick though. Like I can imagine like that's not something that anyone can do. Like I certainly can't do it. And I would imagine like once you get in there, you're fairly dependable for that particular service.
Yeah, it definitely, it gets easy. I think it's nice and chill.
But no, that's sick. Kat,
Yes,
last time we spoke, we like ran into each other at Big Sound
we did.
and you were doing like some PR stuff there. Are you
Yes.
still doing that line of work?
I moved jobs since then. So
Okay.
I now do marketing for a rock climbing gym.
Okay, this is what I wanted to pivot to. I was like, your social presence seems to be oriented to a climbing gym, and
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I started the job like start of the year, end of last year.
Okay.
Essentially just like something I saw on Instagram. And like I always climbed at this place that I work at,
Right.
Urban Climb. So yeah, I just saw the opportunity, applied for it. Rest is
But both
history.
of you just like victims of nepotism, just like in the right place at the right time. Just
Mine's not nepotism. I didn't know anyone at this job, so
But you were there, like you're a customer, you're a client. Like,
I guess so. Yeah,
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
a patron.
a
I wasn't-
patron. That's right.
Yeah.
Perfect word. Well, thank you both for coming in and jumping on the show. We've got lots to get into. I guess before we get into all the nitty gritty and the notes and all the bullshit, let's do some introductions for people who may not be familiar with either of you or the project. Lachlan, would you like to start?
I'm Lachlan. I sing and scream in Identity Era.
Mhm.
Metalcore throwback, I suppose.
Maybe?
Some,
Yeah.
Is that what we're calling it?
I don't know. I don't know what we're calling it. Metalcore band. That covers a lot of-
Metalcore band.
Yeah.
A lot of
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. What
Yeah.
about you, Kat?
My name's Kat. I play drums.
Okay.
In the same band.
Yeah.
in the same throwback band.
Yeah.
I have been following your band for a while now. I've seen you guys play a bunch of shows. The live set is always dope. And I guess I wanted to kind of talk to you about like why metalcore?
I don't know.
Starting off
really.
with the big questions.
Yeah.
Just straight out of the gate.
I've just been, ever since I was early teens, just into heavy music.
Yeah.
I think, again, like a lot of people, drawn to things that the normal people, quote
Mhm.
unquote, the
The
normies aren't
normies.
into.
Yep.
I always really liked that I listened to the music with the screamy people and no
Mhm.
one else got it.
The rah-rah music.
The rah-rah music.
Yeah.
And yeah, funnily enough, that didn't change ever. So I'm still listening to the rah-rah music and making the rah-rah music.
Did you always want to do your own? Was that
Yeah, I always
Yeah.
wanted to be in a band, but I could never sing. I could never play an instrument. And then I discovered screaming music, and I'm like, oh shit, okay, maybe that can be the thing.
okay?
Yeah.
What about you, Kat?
See, I feel like we never really set out to explicitly be a metalcore band.
Mhm.
We wanted to be beatdown.
Yeah.
I
So
see.
yeah, we like kind of did a bit of a pivot.
Mm.
Maybe not like full pivot, but kind of.
Okay.
Because when we started out, we never had like the melodic sections
No.
or like
Right.
none of that stuff. And I guess, the reason why we started making that was just because me and Mike just one day had the idea to make like a really heavy band.
Yeah.
And then metalcore was like, I think same as him. We just all really like metalcore. So it was kind of a bit of like a natural evolution.
Yeah. And I mean, like, we're here to talk about your upcoming EP, and I've heard it. It's sick. But I think listening to the EP, you definitely get the sense that like there is a bunch of shared influences going on. There's a bunch of different sounds. And I was reading some of the like press material that you guys sent through, and there's like a song that has like little nods to like 2000s deathcore, and there's definitely some beatdown passages in there, but also like some really uplifting melodic stuff that is very like part and parcel with like the classic metalcore sound. So I just think it's very interesting that like once you guys got together and started like pooling your resources, that stuff like naturally kind of like flowed. Was there ever a conversation about like we should write songs like this?
There was, when we started, like Kat said, we wanted to be hardcore beatdown.
Okay.
And we dropped a few songs, and then I remember, I think the turning point for me was on the way back from, I think, our first interstate show. I just went through and I was listening to whatever demos we had lying around, and I played a song called Tiki Talk, which turned into Atrophy.
Yep, great.
And I'd completely forgotten about the song. We would have been too busy doing whatever. I just did a quick vocal run through, kind of would have got buried in the chat. And on the way home, we just put that on, and all four of us are just like, wait, shit, what? How did we miss this?
This might be the move.
This might be the move. And then as soon as that happened, I'm like, okay, this is the music we need to make now, guys.
Yeah. All right. So now that we've got the sound established, let's kind of like move it back slightly again. So like, how do you guys know each other? How did you guys form? Like what's the link up?
So I knew Mike because we were in a band before. We're in like it was metalcore as well, but it was
Mike is bassist, guitarist?
He's the guitarist. It was like more of a like progressive kind of like modern metalcore band.
Okay.
So yeah, we knew each other from there, and we were always like, oh, let's make a beatdown band because we all love like super heavy music and stuff. And then I've known you since I was like 16, just like from the scene because we like went to shows together.
Cute.
And then Chantel, I found her on the internet because she posted in like a music group saying, oh, I want to be in a band. I can play like bass and stuff. And I don't remember how this conversation worked, but I knew she could scream.
Right.
And I was like, oh yeah, that'll be sick.
That's another element that I want to get into when we start talking about specific tracks and stuff off the EP. But I was listening today while I was at the gym. I was telling you guys before we hit record. And there's a lot of vocal interplay on the EP, which I think is like one of its greatest strengths, is that there's at least 3 different people screaming. Is everyone screaming?
I think
I
it's
do
just,
at one point, but not.
She does a backing layer for one song.
Yeah.
It's mostly just Chantel and I.
Them two.
Yeah, cool. Because I've definitely seen Chantel and Lachlan do it live. And then I guess like, do you have like the little like drum microphone, like the little headset?
This has been a conversation for a long time. It's like a meme. I'm like, give me the mic. But I think it's just like kind of too hard for me to, play and do vocals at the same time.
It's incredibly difficult.
Yeah.
I tried to play drums when I was a teenager, and I loosely practiced at it for about 2 years and realized that I did not have the dedication nor the timing or skill to pull it off. But I can't even imagine like doing all of that and then just like trying to do vocal stuff over the top. So like mad respect to anyone who can pull that off. But,
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Many, a lot of multitasking.
Yes. Lots of multitasking. All right. So at the top here, we'll talk about the EP. So the EP is called You Still Have Tomorrow.
Yes.
It's coming out on August 8th. You guys are doing an independent release?
We are, yes.
Okay. That's sick.
Yeah.
Just doing it off your own bag, DIY.
Yeah.
That's the way to go. Let's kind of talk about the writing process. So in my notes here, I've got that it kind of came together over about 2 years. But I mean, you guys formed in 2023?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
so like you've been working on this stuff kind of from the beginning, right?
I guess it's hard because, like I said, the first one that really made me want to kind of go towards more melodic metalcore, or just metalcore in general. That demo was written when we were writing the first two tracks.
Yeah.
So it's been, that song would have been right near the very start of the band, and then all the way up to the closing track, You Still Have Tomorrow, got written 3-4 months ago. Not even.
Okay.
I would say maybe, I don't know about 2 years, maybe 1.5. I feel like maybe the earliest songs came together like start of last year, I would say. Because it was definitely like the 2 tracks definitely came before this stuff. But it was still like a long period that we were writing.
Yeah.
I think Atrophy and Ivory Tower, they were the first 2.
Yeah.
And they probably would have been the start of last year.
Yeah. Would you say that like the songs and like the demo material came together fairly easily? Like, if you guys are kind of, meeting some people for the first time, working in a band together for the first time, can't imagine you like are just writing stuff straight off the bat. Like, there's got to be a little bit of a kind of get to know you process.
I think we went pretty quick.
Okay.
I think the first time we wanted to write original music, we wrote our first song that day.
Yeah.
Did you guys start with covers? Are you doing
We
Yes.
did, yeah.
Okay.
We were doing
Knock Loose.
Knock Loose covers and
Sick.
stuff like that.
Well, which like the beatdown stuff makes a lot of sense, right?
Yeah, we did like Knocked Loose, Kublai,
Yeah.
and like that sort of
Yeah.
stuff.
Yes.
But I think it's a bit of a mixed bag. I'd probably say like half of the songs came together easy,
Mm.
and then half of them we agonized over. Bittersweet has gone through so many revisions, it's not even funny.
It's so good though.
I know.
And like, I know that there might have been a little bit of trepidation about doing that fully like clean chorus, but it sounds so sick.
No, thank you.
Thank
And like, I like the layer of like the clean, but also like the harsh kind of scream over the top of it.
Mm.
Like, I love the kind of double up layer.
Yeah.
Mm.
So good. We'll get into
Thank
that
you.
in a little bit.
Yeah, I think on his note, I think Bittersweet and Frailty, those two were the songs that took the longest.
Yeah.
Because Frailty, I think we were like agonizing over the breakdown because I think we accidentally stole like a Dying Wish breakdown.
Oh,
I don't know if I'm
no.
allowed to say that. Anyway, but yeah, so we had to change it because we're like,
All
shit.
great artists steal.
We're like,
It's fine.
this is like almost identical. Like, we cannot put this out.
I don't even remember that.
No, we did. I was like, Mike, we can't release this. Like, no.
I mean, all great artists do it. I was watching a podcast the other day and they're talking about how AC/DC completely lifted a Fleetwood Mac riff and then just turned it into like an AC/DC riff. But it's like the exact same riff.
Oh, wow.
So like everyone does it.
If you can get away with
It's
it,
fine.
sure.
If you can get away with it, that's the
I
key.
feel like there's a little bit of a difference between like taking influence and then just downright stealing.
Yeah.
Especially because we sound pretty similar to Dying Wish.
For sure.
Like we're in the same area for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you don't want to steal from like your contemporaries.
No.
You want to
No.
steal from like
Yeah.
you want to punch up. You want to
Mm.
like take the like the big stuff that like they're not looking at you, and you can
Yeah.
just like lift a little bit of that, add a little bit
Yeah.
of spice. But
For sure.
that's fine.
Mm.
So you start putting together these demos over a 1.5 year period, and then when was the decision made to record the EP and go see Chris Byrne?
So we recorded it in 3 different sessions, actually.
Okay.
So the first one, I think we did Atrophy and Ivory Tower. And then we did, what's it called? No Morning.
Frailty.
Yeah. And then the last 2 songs were recorded like 2 months ago, something like
Yeah,
that.
3 months ago.
Yeah, so it was like a very long process, actually.
Just doing 2 songs at a time.
Mm.
But what-
And for a relatively new band, you guys have played a lot of shows, done some really good supports as well. Did you find that like doing more shows and getting more of those under your belt started to creep into song material and started to kind of affect, I guess, maybe like the desired stuff that you wanted to do on record after doing it on stage? Is there a bit of a feedback loop going on there?
I would say a bit. The bands we were playing with definitely would have helped influence because once I started being in a band and performing, I wasn't just a regular punter anymore. I would go and watch the show and be like, oh, that person's doing this. That's cool. Like, maybe I can, and you just start looking at things in a bit of a different way. So I think that definitely has influenced some things.
Yeah. This whole thing has completely ruined podcasts.
Yeah, I
Because
bet.
like I listen to a podcast and like no, that pause is too long. Like that EQ is fucked. That's too breathy. What's going on with that video? Like I can't turn production brain off. And I would imagine like that's the same with performing, right? Like you're watching a band and you're like,
yeah, I kind of wish I could just watch the band now. But now it's in there being like, damn, they're doing all. How are they running around? Like,
I think the main thing was that we obviously started playing shows and then we realized that all these bands are really good.
yeah.
yeah,
Like, not that I mean, debatable. Like our early stuff, it was pretty basic.
Mm.
We were like, oh, a lot of these bands are like really technical. I think a standout for me was that City Space Cowboy show.
Mm.
I was like, fuck, this band is really good.
Yeah.
I'm bummed that I missed that because that was the headliner show that they did, like the standalone one. I saw them on the tour run, and I got to have a chat with Connie. And like live, she's doing so much. She's like spin kicking on stage and flipping around. Like all of them are very acrobatic, and I can imagine like that takes a certain level of like drilled in kind of like muscle memory to be able to perform and then like add all of that extra shit while you're doing it.
And that was like a 40-degree day. I remember when we played, I got like nauseous on stage.
I felt
and
so
then
sick.
Connie's out doing spin kicks and everything else. Jeez.
Just built different.
Yeah, built different.
But I get your point, Kat, that like once you start kind of thinking about your own music and seeing what your contemporaries are doing and what other people are doing, there is this element of like, okay, we need to level our shit up. We need to kind of like aspire to be at least on that level and see what we can do and what we can bring to the table.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. So then what was the rationale behind working with Chris?
We went through a bunch of different names.
Okay.
And Bloom was just starting to drop all their singles right around this time. And yeah, I think I listened to maybe in another life. I'm like, well, you know what? Who mixed this? Yeah. CCV. And I'm like, hey guys, this is my name that I'm going to throw in the ring.
Interesting. I mean, he's been doing production stuff for a very long time.
Yeah. And then when I went through his
very
website,
diverse too,
scrolling back through and like did a lot of bands, a lot of albums and EPs that I'd listened to over the years that, you know, I never paid attention to who mixed before.
Sure.
And I'm like, damn, okay, this guy's got good resume.
Yeah. His repertoire is like very diverse. I think he did a lot of like hardcore stuff.
Yeah.
And then also, you know, pop punk, metalcore, all of that. So just like jack of all trades, really.
Yeah. Which again kind of speaks to what you guys are doing with this shared influence and putting a bunch of different pieces together in your own kind of style and flavor. You want someone who can kind of think outside the box. You don't want to go to just like a meat and potatoes metalcore guy. You want someone who can do a little bit extra.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So what was the experience like? Kind of, you said 3 different sessions recording the EP. What was that like?
It was good. Definitely a learning curve. Everything else we did, I just did in my garage.
Okay.
Doing like multiple hours in a row of just screaming nonstop. I'm like, damn, that's hard.
Yeah.
And then, but it was fun though. A lot of good input.
I feel like he just like knows, you know, like he obviously has so much experience and he just knows what the song needs. Like I remember this was the last session, we were writing like harmonies for Bittersweet. We're like, oh, we might do like a vocal harmony. And I remember me and Chantel, we were like deliberating for hours. We're like, oh, like what note should this be and stuff. And then he just like writes it like that.
Yeah.
Like he just gets it, you know?
Yeah. I mean, that comes with just practice and experience and just kind of like, I think maybe just going with your gut as well. And I mean, I'm not in a band, but I certainly know that I can over agonize on production choices when it comes to this whole thing. And I can imagine when you're writing, recording, you start to kind of get in your own way a little bit, get in your own head a little bit.
Yeah, I think you can kind of like listen to your own songs too many times and then be like, is this even good?
Yeah.
Is this shit? Like,
I feel like you've got lyrics like directly speaking to this kind of like phenomenon.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about some of these singles. So what was the first kind of teaser of the EP that you guys released? Was that Ivory Tower?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that is a cat song?
Lyric wise, yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
So talk to me about Ivory Tower. Why is that the first one that you want to push out into the world?
It wasn't really the first one that we like decided to put out. It was just the first one we wrote, I'm pretty sure. And I think that one was kind of like the transition, at least to me, feels like the transition between like the 2 tracks and the new EP. Just because it's very heavy. It has like the unga bunga, you know, beatdown sort of feel, you know, like Acacia Strain sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But I feel like that was the first time where we tried to like add layers and stuff.
Okay.
Layers and like earworms and, you know, more, I guess, soundscapey stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
And I've got in my notes here that it's a anti-capitalist mosh anthem.
Yeah.
Please elaborate.
I think I just wrote it at a time when I was like pretty burnt out.
Yeah.
I think it's more just like a general critique of capitalism and like big corporations and how do you say it? Like the bourgeoisie,
the
the bourgeoisie, whatever that.
Yeah.
And it's kind of how I guess like, you know, what like 1% of the population hoards all the wealth and they kind of have a control over everyone else who's just working their asses off.
Yeah.
And like, you know, gets no respite really.
No.
And yeah,
I mean, it's probably more pronounced and worse now than at any other time in history.
Probably worse now compared to when I wrote that song. Yeah, but it's kind of just about, like being a working class person and about how you kind of sold this lie of like, oh, if you work hard, then you can have a good life and you can retire and buy a house and all these things. But a lot of that is not really the case anymore.
No. I mean, yeah, like I'm, you know, on the wrong side of 30, you know, approaching 40. And
there's
like
no wrong side.
Paige and I are married, you know, we're about to have our first child. And like the ease at which we can get a house is pretty stark and pretty grim. And I mean, like, I love doing the podcast. It's not exactly paying for a house deposit. You know what I mean? So
I think that was actually a key line in that song is like, I'm going to make sure I don't say it wrong. I used to dream of something, now there's nothing at all.
Yeah.
Which is like kind of how, like when you're, just an average person, working class person, you have all these dreams and maybe a lot of them are like not realistic. But then a lot of them kind of just fall by the wayside because you realize that's not something that you can actually sustainably do.
Yeah. I mean, it sucks. And it's very much like just something that a lot of people have to deal with and have been dealing with for decades. Lachlan, I wanted to ask you, like, was there ever a point where you thought that you would be singing someone else's lyrics? And was that ever something like a hurdle that you had to jump?
I don't think so. I was always pretty happy when we went in, I think. I was happy with people writing lyrics, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Because I mean, I'm sure some vocalists would probably like, I don't know, turn their nose up at singing someone else's lyrics and be like, that's my job.
I mean, honestly,
that's what I'm doing. One
of the more stressful things about being in a band was writing lyrics for me. It didn't necessarily come naturally.
Yeah.
I'm thankful that the more I've done, the better I've gotten.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I was always happy to have other people contribute for sure. I encouraged people to contribute.
Yeah.
Especially when I was starting to run out of ideas or whatever. Not saying that's what Cat's was. It was just we had X amount of demos and Cat's like, oh, I'll take this one. I'm like, cool, I'll take this one.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's
I think it's good that we're collaborative in that way because like we said, not everyone always has the ideas all the time, you know, so it's good to like when someone maybe has an experience they want to write about, then they can like pick a demo that they want to write. So
even though it'd be like Cat's song, Lachlan's song, Mike's song or whatever, like I've got lines in her songs, she's got lines in my songs. It's all kind of just like whoever made the song, you know, meaning or whatever, what it's based around.
Yeah.
They can get the credit, I suppose.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, like you guys are all performing it.
Exactly.
You're all part of the band. No, I do think that collaborative nature is like one, good, but also just super interesting that you guys are kind of like happy to kind of just like pool all of the resources and then just kind of like take the best out of it. So
yeah, I think I like the way we collaborate because a lot of bands are secretly just solo projects. So I think it's cool that we all work together.
Yeah. Do you guys have, I've been talking to bands about this, that like every good band has like the one admin person that like books all the shows and does all the emails.
Yeah, to be Cat.
I mean, I think we all have different roles in the band though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm maybe like, am I the most business minded? Like possibly?
If I had to pick someone to be the manager, I'd pick you.
I don't think that was ever a explicit or conscious decision that I'm the manager. I think maybe.
I don't think it ever is. I think in most instances, you know, artists that I've spoken to, like they just say that like that's kind of how it shakes out. It's like one person just kind of goes like, well, someone has to fucking do it. Yeah. So I'll put my hand up and off you go. And like maybe that turns into them like steering the ship as you go forward. But like someone does have to answer those emails.
Yeah. I think all major decisions are still completely democratic.
Yeah.
100%.
And yeah, we have got our own little roles within the band.
Yeah. Yeah, like you do the merch stuff, like you do design stuff as well. And then like Chantel's booking shows now. So yeah, I think we all kind of rotate, which is good.
Yeah, that's sick. I mean, this all runs very true to this collaborative nature that we've been talking about. So
Yeah.
that's good to hear.
Yeah.
Lachlan, you mentioned this before with Atrophy being kind of the first song of this kind of new era for the band. And that's one of your lyrical tracks, is that right?
Yep.
Yeah. So do you want to talk to me about that a little bit? What's going on with Atrophy?
Yeah. So, I don't know. In high school and stuff, I was just very quiet. I've always been a quiet person.
Yeah.
And it led to me realizing later in life I wasn't very good at voicing my emotions.
Mm-hmm.
And that can cause issues in relationships.
Yeah, for sure.
So this song was about, my now wife and I were having a rough time. And even though I was going through whatever I was going through at the time, I didn't feel like I could really communicate with her about it, which kind of leads to me getting shut down.
Yeah.
And then things deteriorate and you don't know how to fix it or whatever.
Yeah. I got to say, like, a deeply relatable song. And,
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
you know, like, Paige and I host the show, but we're also married and we've been together now for, like, 7 years. And I think we have a very good dynamic, but you kind of just, like, hit spots in any marriage where it becomes, like, difficult to kind of communicate what the other person wants or how they feel. And, like, again, I was just listening to the EP today at the gym, you know, hitting those PBs.
Yeah.
And like, and Atrophy came on and I was listening to the lyrics and I was like, damn, I was like, I have felt like that before. That's the real shit.
Yeah, good.
Yeah. I feel like that might be a strength we have as a band, is that we're relatable.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, you're not writing kind of like cliche metalcore songs about like, I don't know, what do they write them about? Like killing their girlfriend or like.
We have written songs about killing people. Box cutter.
Oh yeah, box cutter. Yeah, that's
I mean,
about imagining it though. Not doing it.
Yeah.
Very crucial distinction. Yes.
I think in Ivory Tower I talk about killing some certain groups of people, but
Maybe
that's fine.
Yeah, anyway, it might be like cliche, quote unquote, but I guess it's like experiences that everyone goes through. So.
Totally. I mean, look, everyone has at least once thought about doing harm to another person, even if they don't want to admit it. It's a very human thing.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe some people haven't. You're like really, really nice.
All right, let's talk about the other pre-release single, which is Frailty. And you were talking about that one before, Cat.
Yes.
So that's another one of yours.
Yes.
Deeply personal one, I think.
Yeah. It's about like one of my family members that has dementia, and it's kind of like written from their perspective about like, you know, mental deterioration and subsequent depression.
Yeah.
So yeah, pretty dark stuff. And there's like some like existential questions posed in there as well. It's like, who will be left to remember me? So yeah, a lot of mortality and existentialism.
Yes, we love existentialism. I want to kind of focus on, I guess what I'm picking up from the formation of the band and the themes of these songs is that, like, did you guys start a band to like work through some of this stuff, or did this like come about? Is it like a chicken or an egg thing? Like once you have the band, you're like, what do we write about? And then you're like, I'm going to write about the real shit.
Yeah, I never really knew what. Like I said, I wanted to be in a band. I never knew what I wanted to write about.
Yeah,
I knew that the bands whose lyrics I liked, you know, Counterparts and whatever else, they were like the sad ones. The killing people, I don't give a shit. That's you do you, but that's not me. I was never going to write any of that stuff.
No, emo with breakdowns.
Emo with breakdowns,
it's a great formula.
That's what I wanted to do, and luckily we've ended up there.
Yeah, no, I think we definitely did not start a band with the intention of like being a therapy group or anything like that.
No.
And I think you'd be hard pressed to find bands that do, but I think it is this natural outcome of having a creative, artistic outlet, and particularly with heavy music, right? Like
definitely
that is kind of why we go to see these bands. That's why we go to shows. That's why you get in the pit, is to kind of like have this cathartic experience.
Definitely.
And you know, we're we're all kind of human. We all have our own shit and our own burdens to kind of get off our chest, and you guys have an outlet for it, which is great.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Let's talk about some of the deep cuts of the EP. So, people watching, listening, the EP may not be out yet, or maybe in the future it is out. You should go listen to it. It's sick. So I've run through the EP a number of times. I think all of the tracks bang, but I think in particular my favorite is No Morning. And that is one of yours, Lachlan? Yeah. But also I noticed in the press notes it talks about this like nod to 2000s deathcore, some slam stuff. So talk to me about that. What's going on in the lyrics?
Lyrics are, I got someone very close to me whose father was abusive to their mother. Ended up cutting contact, going through all the trauma that they went through. And then their dad ended up having a stroke, going to hospital. So if your father dies, whatever the history, they wanted to go see them in the hospital.
Right.
And then shortly after that, they've started getting incessant texts, phone calls, whatever, from them and their family, trying to, now that their dad's returned home, expecting his children to care for.
Yeah, it's tough.
So, rough situation.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can write about this.
And now I see the title, No Morning with a U. This makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, that's particularly tough, like dealing with varied family backgrounds and having, abusive siblings or, like parents or whatever. Like sometimes no contact and cutting that person out of your life is a necessary thing.
Yeah.
Then you throw health stuff into the mix and it's like, well, do I want to be there? Do I not want to be there?
Yeah, exactly.
So like this happened to a friend of yours. So you were kind of watching like from the outside. Is that what you were saying?
Yeah. So it happened to them very close to me. So I was still there for all of it. But yeah, every time, they get a text, they get a call or whatever, trauma comes back up. Yeah. Obviously, if their dad nearly died, which he did, they wanted to go see him, but no, at least at that point, there was no signs of any reconciliation or anything like that. It was just, you can look after me now.
That's fucked. Yeah. Instrumentally, what's going on with that one? It's one of the heaviest songs on the EP by far.
It is. I think it's just like, it's pretty like slammy. I mean, there's a section in the middle that has like the gutturals, and it's kind of just like, that's like the deathcore section, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember. I think that song we set out to write like a super, super heavy song. And not that it isn't, but I think that's where like all the slam stuff sort of came in. Yeah. And then at the end, there's kind of like a bit of melodic stuff anyway, because it kind of just ends up heading that direction for us.
That's kind of the part that stuck out to me, is that like it's kind of front loaded with a lot of like intense stuff. And then it just has like, it's almost kind of like a bridge section, I guess, that's like quite melodic and uplifting and very kind of stark compared to some of the intensity.
Yeah, I think that one's probably like the most erratic song in terms of structure, just because it's like, not in a bad way, but there's a lot of different parts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you guys played it live?
Yes.
Yeah.
We played it twice.
Twice, I think,
Yeah.
Does it go off?
It goes off.
It goes off. Yeah. It's kind of hard, though.
It's a hard song to
It's
play.
a hard song, yeah. Like, there's a lot of, like, timing and stuff between us.
Yeah. I think, like, the kind of breakdown in that, and then I would say, like, the start of the title track is definitely, like, the get the fuck up, like, 100%. Heavy moments. Yeah.
You mean the start of You Still Have Tomorrow, that song? Yeah, okay. Cool.
It's just, like, straight into the breakdown or whatever.
Yeah, totally. Like, no build-up, intro, anything.
Yeah.
No. Let's talk about Bittersweet. So we were kind of dancing around it before, but it is probably the most melodic track on the EP. Definitely the one that has like a fully melodic chorus. So now that we have this kind of origin story of like, let's do a stupid heavy band, let's do covers of Knock Loose and Kubla Khan, let's do beatdown music, eventually pivoting into metalcore. How do you get to we should sing that shit on the chorus?
When I started the band, I started going to a vocal coach. I could never sing.
Right.
I was never a good singer, but going to a vocal coach, she taught me how to sing. And then I wanted to push myself, and I decided, hey, let's start singing in the band.
Right.
And
I think
then
that's
kept
dope.
pushing myself, and now I've got a full clean chorus after a lot of debates.
Yeah.
But
I think it's I think it's really cool. And one of the things that like, it's a fine line to walk, right? It's like if you go too saccharine and too sweet, it ends up sounding like, I don't know, like fucking Attack or Mice and Men or something. It's like way too poppy. It's way too clean. And sometimes that's kind of like the distinction that you're after. The contrast is the point.
Yeah.
But I think with what you're doing, like the clean still has grit and texture to it.
Yeah.
It still works within the context, particularly with like the vocal layering and stuff that's going on there. Like it doesn't sound out of place.
Yeah.
It sounds very natural for your voice, your range, for the song. Like it rocks.
I think that's the hard part is like making sure it still fits in the song because I guess it's easy to just wedge in a clean chorus.
Yeah.
But we deliberate a lot over like vocal melodies and stuff. Like I think that chorus got changed so many times.
I
Like
think there were 8 whole lyric versions for it.
yeah. Like you would write a version, then I'd be like, oh, I don't really like this part. I'll write a version and then we'll like switch it back. And yeah, a lot of chopping and changing.
What's it like live? Because I guess that's like the real test, right? Is like doing all the vocal coaching. It's like, can I sing that shit on stage?
We haven't done it live. We've done it in the studio with the parts that Mike remembered and the parts that Cat remembered.
Yeah.
Because we weren't expecting it to practice it that day. But we're going to find out. I don't know.
Yeah.
If I got to scream some lines, I'll scream some lines.
I mean, like, that's kind of the whole joy of it, right?
Yeah.
Like, you can kind of, like, mix it up on the fly.
No, exactly. So, like I said, I pushed myself. And even with Atrophy, I can do it at home. I can do it in a practice space. But when I do it live, I'm like, oh, shit, that's hard.
Yeah.
And, we'll see how we go.
Yeah.
I think it's like the high. I mean, I don't want to speak for you, but the high singing, that's kind of, because I don't know how the mechanics of like screaming and stuff works, but it kind of like, that's the high range is like the first that kind of gets dicey.
Yeah.
I got a bit of a lower voice. And like I said, I could never sing before. So all the things that I'm singing were not in my range anywhere to begin with.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know. And like we were talking about before with like being able to do vocals and drum at the same time, I have like lots of profound respect for vocalists that can do like the clean and then the switch up to the heavy, like watching Courtney from Spirit Box, like do that shit live is just kind of like, damn, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Insane.
The control and like the breath work that must take is insane. I say this as a very inexperienced vocalist.
I mean, I think the same thing when I say it.
Let's talk about the title track, the closer of the EP. Mike's not here, but I guess could you guys speak to kind of the story behind the lyrics that he put together for that one?
Yeah, so before that song was written or anything, Mike's dad passed away September 2024. And he, however long after that, gave us some journal entries, his eulogy that he read at the funeral. And we knew we wanted to make a song about that. We just didn't know what it would be. And yeah, You Still Have Tomorrow. I got sent they went off on a writing day. I got sent the demo a few days later, listened to it, and I just said, hey, Mike, is this the track? He's like, yeah, I think so. So I just went through, grabbed the lines, whatever, arranged them in whatever sort of way, sent it off, and instantly all of us are just like, yep, that's it.
Yeah.
Finished, done.
I think it works so well as like a closer.
Yeah.
But also like kind of like thematically kind of like pulls everything else together because like obviously it's very collaborative. You guys are kind of having your own input over different bits and pieces. But I think like that kind of becomes like the centerpiece or cornerstone that kind of like helps pull it all together. And it has like the name of the EP in it. Also, so.
I was super happy because, like I said, mentioning Counterparts again, one thing I always really love about their albums is the closing track. You know it's the closing track, and it feels like a big event kind of situation. Yeah. And as soon as that demo came through and I heard the ending, I'm like, oh, this could be a vibe. Send it through, and it feels like it's the end song. Yeah. Feels like a big moment.
For sure. It's like those metalcore albums where you have like the sad song at the end. It's definitely that.
Yeah. But I mean, like, there's an art to doing that. And like, if you fuck it up, it kind of ruins the whole vibe. And you didn't fuck it up. It's great. But I mean, I think to like all of my favorite heavy albums, like the closers are these big kind of like epic centerpiece kind of like things at the end of the record that really kind of help tie everything together. And I think you guys have managed to do that on here, which is awesome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Kind of wrapping up the conversation for the main show. So you had your first sold out headliner in March of this year at a place like, I think kind of just around the corner from here. Was that the Maryback like showdown thing?
Yeah, so we had two headliners. One was like the one we organized for not the EP, sorry, for Frailty.
Yeah.
And then the other one was like a freezer show, which was
Okay.
at the Graveyard.
Yeah.
But yeah, both sick shows.
Mm.
Awesome.
Yeah. What was it like, I guess, getting to the point of like, we can headline our own show and, you know, touch wood, it sells out and we can kind of have a banger. But like, did you think you were at that point? Did you like, was it deliberated at all?
It was deliberated a lot. We didn't know if we were there yet,
Mm.
but you got to shoot your shot eventually.
Yeah. I think there were, sorry, I interrupted you. I think there were some conversations of just people saying like, oh, Identity Era, like I've seen them open all the time. Like I've never seen them headline, stuff like that. So we're like, oh, maybe it's time for us to headline. And obviously, you know, when you release something, that's kind of like the perfect time to
Totally.
put something like that on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, it went well, I think.
It went well.
Yeah. Did it change like the set list at all? Or like the songs that you guys are playing? Like if you headline, should have a bit more time?
I think we played
Yeah.
everything.
We
All the
played
songs
every
we
song we
had.
had.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, which is not that many songs, but
No.
yeah, I guess like we got given like maybe 40 minutes or something.
Which is dope.
And we played like, what, 30 minutes maybe?
Yeah. That's sick.
Yeah.
What's next? Obviously, the EP comes out in August.
Mhm.
And if you're watching, listening to this, go listen to it. It fucking bangs. But what's coming up next? Rest of 2025.
It'll be EP drops, and then we're gonna play another headline show, Cactus Room.
Mhm.
I've forgotten the date.
August 15th, I think.
August
Okay.
15th.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then what about for the rest of the year? Interstate?
We're
Do you have any
currently
touring plans in mind?
in the talks of,
Yeah.
I don't know how
Interstates.
much I can say about this. Like, it's not, I don't know. I'll just say, like, we're in the talks with, like, another band of, like, organizing some out-of-state shows and
Cool.
stuff. And then possibly touring, kind of just, like, take each day as it comes, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like,
Where have you guys played so far? You mentioned some interstate stuff before, Lachlan.
Yeah, we played Sydney twice and
3 times.
What's
Sydney, Canberra, Melbourne. I think that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are there any spots that you
We
kind
wanna
of
go to
hanging to go to?
Adelaide.
We really want to go to Adelaide. Like, yeah, we did have an opportunity to go last year, which, like, fell through.
Yeah.
So we want to try and go there finally.
Mm.
And then Brisbane's been like we've gotten a few come to Brisbane's. But it's just, I mean, it's kind of hard for local bands. Like, if you're not on a national tour, you know, you kind of just fly out because you have to fly, like,
Totally.
for one show. Like, yeah. So,
I mean, I did the drive when we moved here, and it's a big drive. So
what, like 16 hours or something?
like 18 hours, yeah.
No, that's fucked up.
We did it kind of like a 9-hour stint, slept in a motel for like 6 hours, got back in the car, did the other 9 hours.
Yeah, I think it's
Not
definitely gonna be like a fly there
for
sort
sure.
of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, sick. All right. Well, we're going to wrap up the main show here, but I do have some fun stuff to talk about on the Patreon.
Cool.
So if you want to see that, sign up to the Patreon, and we'll be talking about Metalcore records with Cat and Lachlan.
Sick.
But guys, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thanks for
Cool,
having us.
thank you so much for having us.
Hello, Owen popping in to say, please sign up for the TPD Patreon. This is what helps us keep the lights on and keep the show going. The link is at the bottom of your screen right now, patreon.com/tpdpod. All of our patrons get exclusive access to Side B of our roundup episodes, so you get a few extra tracks, as well as our feature album discussion and the full show experience. Our patrons also get exclusive access to behind-the-scenes, off-the-cuff chit-chat from all of our guest episodes. But the patrons are the ones who make all of this happen. For as little as $5 a month, you can sign up to the TPD Patreon, and it really helps us out, really helps us keep the show going. So shout out to all of our patrons, shout out to our executive producer patrons, you're the real ones, and yeah, thank you so much for watching the show.